Going back to folk football, it wouldn't be an Old Firm Cup final day without a bit of drama, and the drama's kicked off before the final whistle has even been remotely heard, even though technically it'd be the first whistle. But you know what? Enough of the botched intros. We're diving straight into this as Rangers and Celtic fans have clashed in Glasgow today. And let's dive into the clips and hear folk football's reaction to it. I mean, as you can see, now there is going to be more than that, folks. No need to greet about the lack of content, so to speak, but you've got a lot of police presence. And I've always thought this. It's like, we've seen in the past in games, more years ago and whatever. It's like, if Hampden erupted into pure chaos, right? Like, we're talking 26,000 against 26,000. How do the police even begin to police that? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's going to happen today, right? But it's like, where do you even begin? You know what I mean? We've all been to games of football. You see stewards, you see police, right? But it's like, if it kicked off to the maximum level, I don't see how the heat gets turned down. I think the biggest one I'd say in recent years, Scottish football, I'd say it was definitely the cup final between Rangers and Hibs. I mean, you got police horses, you got pitch invasions, and it didn't go. I mean, it didn't get turned up to the maximum. If you were cooking on a hob or an air fryer, I'd say it was about setting 3 out of 6. You know what I mean? To use a cooking analogy, but it is what it is. It just shows you, though, if it kicks off, the police simply lack the numbers to deal with it. They can deal with relatively small groups around the city centre, but when it's actually at the game, it's always going to be a tough one. And we're going to dive into this clip of Rangers fans. It looks like the Union Bears and Santa Hats running away. So we're going to dive into this. We're going to react to this. I'm seeing a lot of people say, "Oh, you got to deduct Rangers. You got to deduct Celtic points. Take them from the cup final, make Motherwell and Aberdeen play it." But I mean, once you start doing that, it's a slippery slope into it. I'm already seeing accusations get fired of this and say that this is Celtic fans dressed up as Rangers fans wearing Christmas hats to make the Union Bears look weak, which it just sounds completely far-fetched, you know what I mean? Who's got enough time in their life to do that? But yeah, it's the old firm. This happens, not that it happens every game, but with these cup finals, man, there's always something happening. We reported on this back in May, April of last year. It always is going to happen. And the reality is, yeah, as much as it is scum on scum, is what people will say, battering each other, destroying the city centre, destroying property, and things like that. The reality is, folks, that's what makes the rivalry. You know what I mean? That's what makes the hatred. You don't have to love it, you don't have to hate it. You can do both, but that's what it is. That's what sets it apart for every rivalry in British football. It's not just atmosphere; it's things like this. And you don't want to see people kicking lumps at each other, man, before football games and innocents getting caught in the middle. But that's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? So we'll dive into this and we'll see what is happening. So as you can see, the Union Bears are running. Some guy crawling on all fours. The police.
Oh my god. Get in. Get in.
So yeah, absolute mess in Glasgow city centre the day. Not a good look. It has to be said. I want your guys' thoughts down below. What do you make of that?